Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live Web3 Network. I've got a special co-host in today. It's been about 4 weeks since we last had Ronan the Collector here on the show, so I'm excited to connect. I'm just excited to see what he's learned about the space in that time. We are going to be covering the NFT and Web3 space the entirety of the next hour. Glad to have you in with us today. But again, I'm glad to have Ronan the Collector, my old friend in the space. How are you doing today, dude?
Dude, I'm doing good. I'm doing better now that I heard the intro. I don't know about you guys. I mean, you guys hear it every day, obviously, but like for me, it's like one of those things that every time I'm able to jump on the show and like hang out with you guys, I hear that intro, man, and it just like makes me fucking just genuinely happy. So I'm glad to be here, glad to like find time to come in and be part of the show and hang out with you guys and, you know, say congratulations. I've seen like you guys making some traction and I love to see it, dude. I was just telling Q before we hopped on, it's nice to see like some of the genuine voices starting to pick up some traction and be heard and see better numbers. And so you guys work hard and you fucking deserve it.
I appreciate that, man. Gifted, you're cool too. What's going on?
Thanks. I guess. I don't know about this.
Dude, I like your shirt.
Ronan got the like red carpet rolled out. I was like, you're all right too. All right, I appreciate it.
To be fair, I see you every day. To be fair.
Oh, it's just not special anymore. I get it. No, I'm very excited to have Ronan with us too. Of course, we love you, Ronan. Happy to have you here, sir. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. Trish says, don't make me mad. No promises. Actually, I'm going to now purposefully try and trigger Trish throughout this entire episode. Stay tuned for that. We had a great morning show on Web3 on the Spaces X. It was awesome. It was a good time, like it usually is. And last one tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah, that's it. I don't got anything to say. I'm just excited to be here.
All right, we're going to hit some housekeeping really quick up front. It is the 1 year anniversary of Mournbirds today. So I definitely want to give Sarah Script a big shout out. Marty McFly's here, Jawa, Squashman, Trish, Nox Darkness, Jacob Gooden, who has been getting after it on the clip making, just all the drama happening. Little Lemons NFT yesterday, the acquisition, the lemon juice that was making an appearance on the show. So big shout out to Jacob there for putting together those clips so people could hear about what's going on the channel and see GIF drinking lemon juice. But here's what we're going to do. Let's go into... I've been GIF on blast this morning. I don't know why. Happy anniversary of Mournbirds. We do have a post here from Sarah Script exclaiming the beautiful artwork pieces. And it is the 1 year anniversary, I believe. Is it 1 or 2? It's 1, right?
1 year anniversary.
1 year anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Shout out to Sarah for that.
Absolutely.
I think we're all holders, correct, of Mournbirds?
Absolutely. I'm trying to get mine to pull up on the token frame. Let's see if it's going to be a POS or not today. I have such a love-hate relationship with my damn tech. Oh, now look what I don't even know. I've never seen that.
That's a half Mournbird.
Yeah, that's a new one. I've never seen it do that to a photo. So
that's just a mourn.
That's just a mourn. Oh man. That's funny. Do you guys have any, this is a little bit of a divergent, but like, do you guys have any of the digital canvases? Cause like, look, like all I did was ask it to fix itself and now it just broke.
I use an Aura frame as an NFT display just for the JPEGs for the copy paste. It's not like a dedicated NFT display. It's just a digital display that, you know, you can program. So that's, I don't have a dedicated, actually I do have one of those, what's the perpetual little frames with the Jimena Buenavida where it's just like,
infinite objects.
I have an infinite object. That's actually pretty cool. I should go grab that, but yeah, so I do have that. That's a dedicated NFT display, but other than that.
Okay. So I've got these two. And then I also have another one, the atomic frame. I haven't put the atomic frame up. I've got it sitting there and I should. But I've got the other one and the other one has like pretty much just like broken. Like it's a 55 inch. It sits in my foyer and like the connection to like the app that like, you know, was part of, thankfully it was gifted to me just because like I did some consulting with them early on in the space. But like, dude, I've got a 55 inch out there and I can't even like display my NFTs and it's like frustrating. So yeah. I was just curious, you know, if there's, I should probably break into this atomic frame and see if it's a better user experience.
Yeah. Is there not a way that you can just sort of like, what's it called? jailbreak that frame so you can just program it, you know?
I feel like I should be able. Yeah, I feel like I should be able to like maybe side load like the token frame software or something on it, right? Although I don't know if I want it to be token frame software. But yeah, something like that.
We're gonna get into the episode real quick. The first couple stories are some heaters. Marty McFly, eat your heart out. We got a Pudgy Penguins sellout, 150 collectibles. We actually I vibe more with Marty's take on this, that like people freak out too much. I know GIF, you were saying on the morning show that people were like exclaiming like this is life changing, the fact that they were able to buy this Pudgy collectible. But before we get there, before we get into our first story, please leave a like on today's episode. We also are not financial advisors. Do not take with what we say and do anything with it unless you want to be in our position. What we're dealing with here. Okay, so don't do that. Actually give us alpha. I would like to see the other side of that. Anyways, thank you. If it's your first time here, we're covering NFTs and Web3 daily, 1 p.m. Eastern. All right, housekeeping real quick as well. I'm going to drop a couple links, rehashes. We've been doing these every day for the last 2 weeks. They give you an updated look on what is happening. DeGods Season 3. I still haven't got an announcement GIF. I don't know if you have. We also... Anything? Just the head shake?
Nothing yet.
Nothing yet. All right, we got... and then I just wanted to share off the episode today for you guys. If you guys could support that, that would be awesome. We're going to retweet or repost and get a bunch of folks in here today as we go live. But let's go into the first story right here. Pudgy Penguins, left-facing collectibles, has sold out in 8 seconds on Network Live. The huddle is strong. These were 150. They happened on Network Live, which I guess is a pretty large, just like collectible, like school me on this GIF, but a pretty large, like secondary collectible launch pad. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, it's an app. So we've actually just worked with them through Superplastic. So it's like an app where it's almost like a TikTok that is like hyper focused. It's like a TikTok shopping experience, hyper focused on collectibles. So you can like drop collectibles. You can have like shows like that, scheduled shows that go live. Like we did like a 30-minute like show that led up to like one of our toys getting dropped at the end of it. Right. And like all the purchases go through the app. It's a cool experience. And it's actually a really cool like application for the most part, and user experience. So, and then you can see here, it's like content creation all around collectibles.
Yeah, a couple large. Like this was one cool part of this whole thing. Like you could, again, I agree with Marty that this isn't like earth-shattering stuff, but to be like right next to, and I think the trending collection here alongside Supreme and a couple of these larger brands, I thought was pretty cool to see Pudgy up here. GIF, what is your take here on the 150 sellout? I think we guessed based on the low supply we were going to get that. But yeah. Any takes?
I think we expected them to sell out given what they've been able to do, the amount of hype that they're generating. There's actual demand. And that's the important thing here. Like Marty is being cynical, and you can be cynical about this all you want. But every single time that they achieve one of these new drops and do something unique for their collectors and sell it out quickly within a matter of seconds and do it through these different channels, it's like, these are wins. They're stacking W's. You can say that like, oh, it's not a big deal. They're overhyping all this shit. I don't think they're overhyping it at all. I think they're doing a great fucking job marketing and building this brand right now. And each of these wins, again, it's another touch point. It's another moment. It's another thing that sticks in your mind. It's another thing that makes the next thing that they do have even more demand and even more interest. They're doing it really smart, because when you do these limited edition drops, you want to have a good idea of the existing demand and then make sure that the supply is below that demand. So they could have sold more of these, but that's not the point. You want it to sell out very quickly and have that demand. And then I think eventually, we were talking about this yesterday. It's like, when Pudgy secondary market, like who's working on that? I'm sure that there will be at some point some kind of secondary market for some of their collectibles. You don't do that by doing massive drops all the time and by creating more supply than there is demand. You do that by doing very strategic, cool experiences, limited edition drops that sell out quickly and do exactly what they're doing. So I'm bullish on it. The simping online for the people that got them was a little bit much. I agree with that. There's people like, oh my God, I needed this. I'm legit crying right now. And all right, easy. It's, but we do need W's. And so, part of that resonates with me too. Just because we everybody needs W's in the space right now, but all right. Look, the one,
I think it's like, I think let me
just add in the one last thing that's cool about this is that they are actually experimenting and creating unique, valuable propositions, because like the left facing thing, like you can be like, oh, that's stupid or dumb, but like there's only going to be maybe 150 left facing legit Pudgy Penguin PFP NFTs that ever exist that go with these. Like that's actually a fun way to experiment with your art and like create a little twist on it and apply that with this is actually pretty smart and clever, I think.
Yeah. And I think to your point, it's like brand building, right? And they're doing it in a way that like gets attention from people outside of the bubble. And that's like the biggest thing that I think like is truly lacking for most of these projects. And I think that's where a lot of them really fail. I actually have had the pleasure of speaking to a couple of people on the Pudgy Penguins team. And I really do love their mindset of like getting people outside of our space to care about the products, because that is ultimately what is going to bring more value to the original collection, right? Like it's that brand recognition. That's what, the hope is. And honestly, what part of, the reasoning for, Bored Apes being where they're at is there, right? Because the brand became so widely known to people. Dude, I wore my hoodie into a Chick-fil-A one day and the dude behind the freaking counter was like, yo, that's a Bored Ape. I love that. Like, do you own one? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, and next thing you know, everybody's like, so it's that brand recognition that takes place, right? Like you got one of these 150s and you're showing it off, like people recognize those things. And that I think is what comes with time that people don't really realize. And I think the best brands in the space and the best projects are the ones that really are starting to think about how do we expand this shit outside and get more people to care.
Ronan, I know you're working like really closely with Super Plastic now. And they like attacked the collectible scene like really, or like just the collectible route really quickly, like even in 2021 to 22. Like what are their thoughts on collectibles today, or like the space today when you're having those discussions with Super Plastic, which is this large, like well-known brand in the industry right now?
Yeah, I think like the big thing is for us, it's like, how does the tech enhance our experiences that define our brand outside of Web3, right? Like we're more than just like a PFP collection or like a collectible collection, right? It's like, how does that branch over to the toys that we have, or the, Ghost Kids, which is the rap group that we just launched, the experiential space. I mean, there's so much going on. And it's like, how does Web3 enhance that experience? And how does it bridge the gap between all these different funnels that we have, right? And so right now, that's kind of like what we're looking at. We've got some news coming for like the Web3 side of things, where we're going to start getting into just reactivating our holders and then going from there, right? Like we're looking at loyalty. Like I think loyalty is something that has like longevity and like a real use case when it comes to Web3 and blockchain technology. So, when you look at loyalty for like Delta or, these other like American Express, it's like very simple, straightforward. And I think like loyalty will see a huge change as we move into like this digital existence, right? That we're all like kind of like towards, people talk about Fortnite and Roblox, how they're becoming these massive, like quote unquote metaverses for like next generation commerce. So
a couple comments coming through. On the loyalty points, it's not, again, a lot of these moves aren't going to move the needle like too much, but Oniforce's community points I thought was a great way to incentivize people to have PFPs on Twitter. Like they're basically incentivizing you to have an Oniforce as your PFP. I think it's like a really good loyalty point system. I think it works out for both. Gif, I know you probably had something there, or it looked like it, but let me get to these two comments. Trish saying the YouTube ads are whack conspiracy theory central. Look, the ads they funnel you are based on your search history and what you're looking at, Trish. I don't know what you're looking at. Marty McFly saying, I want to see them sell out 5,000 of something, then I will be impressed.
I'm pretty sure
150 items.
But I'm pretty sure. But their first drop, didn't they sell out like 20,000 on Amazon? Like I think that they've
smaller
already
toys. Yeah,
I think that they've already done that, but you can't do that every day again and maintain low supply. Like they're very strategically trying out different channels. Like see this also as like a test of a Web 2 audience. Like Ronan was saying, the fact that they're not doing this just targeting Web 3 audiences, they're doing Amazon, they're doing this network thing, and they're leading with like a Web 2 product, but then that funnels back into the NFTs and Web 3 slowly, builds that connectivity. It's really fucking smart, man, because they seem to really understand that the NFTs for most people out there aren't the main thing. The NFTs are the authentication, the clout, the way to show off online that you have the thing, or to trade it maybe in a different way and use the mark. Like they understand that the NFT can just be the underwriting thing or an extra on top of the main thing, you know? And it seems like they're really focusing on the main thing being these different expressions of the brand in different ways, and a lot of that being physical retail, but the NFTs are still attached to it in unique, cool ways that add value. So I don't know, man. I get it. Marty's not impressed, but like I think we should all be trying to understand what this is and like a larger strategy that they're executing on. The other thing was Marty saying he's got 2 infinite objects with squiggles. Highly recommend. That's pretty dope. And yes, the infinite objects are cool little dedicated NFT screens.
I do think like I was just to his point, like 5,000 is a pretty huge quantity to sell for any brand, right? Like when you go and you look at Star Wars and you look at He-Man that launched as digital collectibles, what was that? The Cryptoys, right? I don't even think they move that many like units, right? So like 150 for a brand that is only 2 years old. Like how old is Pudgy Penguins, right? Like that's a pretty decent like feat, especially when you see it as like a whole, right?
Yeah.
So, it's a long way to go, but I think we'll get there. It just takes time.
Yeah, on that timeline discussion too, Pudgy Penguins was one of the projects that was acquired or like bought out too. That's one thing that I think forget because it's starting to become acquisition season. We're going to touch on some others. We already hit on Little Lemons. I don't want to spend any more of my precious time talking about Little Lemons. GIF hates my lemon FUD, but we do have another acquisition, Wolf Game, that we'll touch on with Reboot here in a second. Jaw was saying low supply is irrelevant if there's no demand. 150 isn't enough to even get a resale market on a physical item. So
I don't know. See, here's the thing, right? Everybody's thinking right now. I'm not thinking right now, and I don't think they are either. I'm thinking like, what is Pudgy Penguins in 15 years from now, right? And if it's here's a comparison. Pokemon. Right? In 1998, when you can get one of these, one of 100 of these rare Charizards that, whatever, you could pick one up for $50, $75, $100 off eBay, dude. Right? Back when eBay was like, whatever. Anyway, true story, right? Here we are 24 years later, and it's like $10,000. Okay? Like that to me is where GIF is coming from in like setting proper expectations, like pandering to the proper like mindset and like the right quantity for like what you're trying to produce in terms of demand, right? You've got your widely Beanie Baby collectible that went out on Amazon, and then you've got your super rare, we're only offering it one time. It comes with the left facing PFP, and there's only 150 of them. Doesn't mean shit right now because we're in a bear market, but what does it mean in 20 years when we're going through the third bull since now? Right? Like, and that's where collectibles, I think people are so brainwashed from 2021. They think collectibles should be worth 10 times what they are in a year, when realistically it takes fucking 30 for them to be worth a damn. So
boom. GIF, I wish we had Ronan here every day, man. Folks. That is why we wish we had Ronan here a lot. That was some really interesting takes here from both of y'all. All right, folks, we're gonna move into the next story though, but Pudgy's still in the news. They just are taking a lot of mind share of Web3 right now. If you don't know what we're doing right now, it's NFT Live. We're here every single day, 1 p.m. Eastern, right after the GM Web3 morning show, which we host over there on formerly Twitter. And we're going to get into a lot of different things. We've got DeGods announcement right now. So there's a couple other stories. Let me go through the rundown really quick. Pixel Vault aka Reboot Protocol now. Has acquired Wolf Games, so we'll touch on that. We're going to touch also on MetaMask, Otherside, Moon Bears. Unfortunately, we'll have to get into those. And then we'll take a look quickly at the market as well. So shout out to all of you that are here daily watching these shows, that are participating as well.
Don't forget the Dorkz, my guy.
Can't forget the Dorkz.
Don't forget the Dorkz.
The Dorkz and the Donks and the all of the things. All right, this is Frank's Twitter. We finally got something from DeGods. And when I say something, I mean really just another announcement of an announcement. We got a GM from Frank here. It says from DeLabs, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard. That's 6:30 Eastern. We have 3 surprises today for the Utes, for Points Parlor, and DeGods Season 3. We've been touching a little bit on this announcement, trying to break it apart a little bit. Ronan, I don't know if you've seen any details around it, but I guess I'll just keep it here. Like, will DeGods Season 3 be successful? Like, do you think like what they're trying to do? I know maybe if we don't have any info, it's tough to make an assumption, but have you seen any info on this?
I think that that he is a genius when it comes to marketing, and I think that like right now we are very much in like a place, like a mindset as a whole, where people are really looking for something to like just get into and like really sink their teeth. And I think that you can probably trust that DeGods is a pretty decent move because of like the history they have. So my guess is that it does pretty decently well. You know, you'll be able to buy in, and there'll be a moment where, you know, there's things are positive if that's what you're looking for in an investment. But I think like much like everything else, you will see shortly thereafter, it will then come tumbling down like everything else. You know what I mean? Like Renga did a drop, a week and a half ago, really cool with Haas Racing F1 team. That went, you know, it pumped 3x in the first like hour. And then like the next 12, it slowly degraded. And I don't even know what they're at now. So yeah, I think it has the brand to say, hey, here's a drop that people are going to jump into. They're going to be like excited about when it first comes out. And then they're going to remember that like, oh, there's only this very short finite time where I could actually sell for a positive. Maybe I should do that. And then, you know, what comes after that, I think that they'll build that brand and they'll continue to do so and do a decent job at it.
Heck yeah. Yo, we got some awesome people jumping in here today. We got a shout out. We got Buff out here. Or is it Randy? Wait, what's the rebrand?
Whoa, did you just throw out his real name? I thought that was like...
No, he's doxed. He doxed himself. It's fine.
No, I know he doxed him, but I'm just saying he always was like, I don't know about Randy. I guess he just got used to calling him Buff.
Yeah. I still like Buff, but hey, you know, to each their own. But saying, what's up, y'all? Y'all are G's for hanging through during the bear market. Yeah. All right, we try, man. We appreciate you. We're just happy you're here, bro. But we got Benja Brajovic. What's up, fam?
What's up, Benja?
We got K-Town Crypto King, all K. Oh, that's 3 Ks though. I don't know. Ooh. Saying Dorkz TV series. I don't know, man. I don't know about these dorks.
Gif, I know we've been following this pretty closely. It sounds like Ronan did have some info on there, so I appreciate that take as well. 7 days down 4%. It did bump off of 7 ETH floor. It's sitting around 8.3. It looks like 8.5 floor here on Blur. Thoughts today, 3:30 p.m., 6:33 Eastern. Is this a shit show?
It's gonna be a shit show. Somebody was putting together like a thread on the history showing that like 3 out of 4 times when they've done, you know, big drops or things, you know, it's actually had a positive increase. So their track record overall of, you know, having success for their floor prices when they do these big launches is really good. It's better than most projects. They're like 75% success rate in terms of like the follow being positive off of the back of these things. But as we've seen in this market, everything's tough. Shipping product in general is often your worst enemy, the thing that hurts you the most for some reason. And we do know though that they've postponed things for a while to try and rework or rethink what they were doing to make it quote unquote game changing. I don't know. to me, it's a coin flip. After today, it could go up, could go down. You're gambling either way. But regardless, I think that it's strong for them to show that they're out here doing innovative things and continuing to build and move forward. And so I have been becoming a bigger fan and more bullish on DeGods over time. I wish I had one. I wish I was in the ecosystem at this point. I'll say that.
So the quick history, and this is from Lucky Trader. Shout out to Lucky Trader. They got that guy does a great job. I believe Tyler D is the co-founder of that media platform. Just a really brief history. I know some people are even asking, like, what is DeGods? They're essentially a PFP project, right? That launched on Solana. They launched a Dust token that I think got a lot of people hyped up on that ecosystem because it was like DeFi oriented at the time. Solana was the growing popularity. It looks like they kind of fell victim to a little bit of FTX at the time. Before that, they had launched Utes in the Ute list. They also launched an innovative, I think that what they call it, a paper hands tax that I think people were super interested in at the time. That drove a little bit interest to the PFP project. FTX happened. They eventually bridged, I believe, both Utes to Polygon and DeGods to Ethereum, as well as the Bitcoin ordinals situation there in January. And then what's next? That's kind of where we're at. That's going to be season 3. An art change we're speculating on. That's at least what Frank has said. We don't know what that means. Again, I think we've said that over and over. I'm just tired of it already.
Well, the thing that they've mentioned explicitly is that it's too gory as is, and we've seen a trend in a lot of these OG projects trying to figure out again how to make their brands and their art and their IP more accessible, more family friendly, if you want to go that way. Just make it something that give it more legs, give it more potential to be expressed in different mediums and be accepted by wider audiences who aren't maybe super Web3 focused, maybe that Web 2.5 or Web 2 audience. That's what I think that they're going to be trying to do here, is thinking out, ahead. How do they continue to expand? And so the art should be a little bit more polished and clean and a little bit less gritty and gory. But who knows? Again, at that point, at a certain point, we're just talking out of our asses because we don't have all the facts yet, other than apparently 3:33 p.m. Is that PST? Is that he's on the West Coast, so
yeah,
PST.
He's the West Coast.
Yeah.
Marty McFly saying, recently I bought Grail passes minted option 1 and Velocity Pass only, and then Tyler D space at 9 a.m. Eastern daily, listening to that instead of the Nifty show. I agree. I'm listening to that as well. It feels like less noise on that show there. So a couple different quick updates here. I've got something from the other side. So Captain Trippy broke out the most important information from an interview with Yuga Labs about the other side. I'm just going to take some quotes here. You can really motivate a creative economy that can spawn really, really compelling experiences as long as you can give the primitives and the Web3 rails. I think that a goal for success is that in December, remember, we're talking about the other side here, we can all be asleep and somebody else is building on the other side, and they don't need us. They're building their community, they're building activations and experience of their own, and they have all the tooling to do that. And again, here's the full article from Decrypt as well, that we're pulling that information from. So hopefully December is that time frame for the other side. That would be a great release there at the end of the year, at the end of Q4. Heavy Metals Season 2 is ending in a single day. So not many people are expecting any updates post Season 2. It's going to be the same, I think, farming, votes, systems. Ronan, I'm interested in your take on heavies. I don't think we've even talked about it. But at the end of Season 3, we expect some type of raid. So based on the energy that you've accrued through all of these creations on your plot or on your forge, you're able to then go into some type of environment where you can loot and raid, and people are speculating that that's going to be extremely valuable, hopefully.
That's cool. Yeah, I haven't really honestly kept up too much with the heavy metal stuff just because I didn't end up buying back in. But it's definitely interesting. And I think that to me, when I hear the quote that you just read, and then I think about the experience that we've had with the trips and stuff, I just think if they nail the formula right, and if they really do have a really strong creator tool, and they really have a system that works well digitally, like a la Roblox or Fortnite, yeah, dude, that's got huge potential, right? Like, and especially one that's built on like this idea of interoperability of, you know, Web3 and NFTs, and you know jumping into this Fortnite-esque world where the NFTs that you have in your wallet now spawn, you know, items in the world, and you can use them in experiences. I just think that like there's so much potential. That's the key, though. It's potential. They definitely went and hired some of the right people, right? Like, we know that. But can they actually pull off what like Epic has done in Roblox and, you know, even Minecraft, right? Like, Minecraft just has this creator economy that is just beyond, you know, really anything else. So
Minecraft's actually a great example of like not decentralized brand building, but really, again, Minecraft is like a sandbox experience that allows people to build different things they can share. I think Minecraft's a relatively good example there.
I remember like meeting some random friends in like New York and going to see them do live machinima of like Roblox or Minecraft. Yeah, it was Minecraft. This was like 10 years ago. But I remember like having my mind blown that that was even a thing. Like, and yeah, for some reason, like that sandbox really took off the way that they did it and spawned like its own sort of art forms out of it, which is crazy. And so, yeah, if they can do that really well, the sky is the limit with these types of things. But
the creator tools is the key.
You got it, yeah,
man. It's like, you know, So I was just gonna say, like, yeah, like what you can do in Minecraft is mind blowing, dude. Like, you have these people who have spent years recreating, like, you know, Hogwarts and shit like that. But then you have like last night, my son showed me this video, and I was just like, holy crap! I can't imagine what this took. And it was a guy who built a Minecraft world where you jump in this cart, and it's a rhythm game. And it was playing to like Marshmello's like song, and you're on the cart and it's rolling through just like a rhythm game, and you have these things coming at you, and you're using your sword to hit them as like the beats are playing. Like, imagine what that takes.
Like Beat Saber. So it's like
exactly like Beat Saber, but in Minecraft, and he created it fucking himself. And like I'm just thinking about how you have to play the song. You have to make sure that like you're placing these blocks at the right exact point that it like you're visually like hitting them when the beats are dropping. And these are kids sitting at home. He's probably 16, 17 years old. You know what I mean?
So the fact that they made that sandbox, those creator tools, so user friendly and powerful. You know, there's this larger conversation happening right now around like the different layer 2s, especially like protocols, layer 2s, ZK rollups, optimistic rollups, you know, where everybody's trying to figure this exact thing out, which is how do we get to the killer apps? Well, right now, the step is you have to have the SDK. Like, you have to have the developer kits. You have to have the tools for the devs that are good enough, powerful enough to, and have the right incentives too. It's a whole package. Right? What is that SDK? What is the whole package? And that kind of seems like where we're at in the space at large, is that like, you know, why do we have so much protocol, so much infrastructure, et cetera, and not enough killer apps, which is the thing that actually brings mainstream adoption? Why isn't there enough killer apps yet? Well, part of it is that there's a weakness in the in-between part, which is the software development layer. Right? Like, you have to have the right toolkits and the right development layers and incentives and all the tools available for the devs to come in and make it into awesome shit. And yeah, anyway, I just thought that was a relevant note, and VGF should absolutely come on the show, bro. Please come talk to us about Reboot, Pixel Vault, and everything. So we have been covering.
Yeah, I'd love to be around for that conversation.
Yeah, man.
I do have to jump though. It has been awesome. It's always awesome. Seriously though, let me know when he's coming through for that Pixel Vault. I would love to like be here to like have that conversation and hear more about it, because I was super deep into that ecosystem when they launched, and I loved like the characters and where they were going. And then obviously FUD hits, and so I made my exit. But like, I would love to get that update. So yeah, guys, it's been fun, dude. I appreciate it, guys.
Maybe you'll come back tomorrow. We'll see you, Ronan.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, good luck, and I'll be seeing you around, man.
I'll chat with you guys soon. Later.
All right, next piece here that we have to move on to, unless you got some gift.
Smash the like for the homie, Ronan the creator.
Good to see him again.
That's what I got.
Good to see him again.
And for Buff, smash the like for Buff, making a cameo here in the chat. Love to see that.
All right, I got a couple things that I want to show here on the screen. I don't even know which one I want to hit first, so I'll just like randomly throw darts at a board here. Speaking of adoption, we had this report. I believe I want to make sure this might be from CoinGecko. This was taken out of it, but MetaMask comes in as the most popular hot wallet used for crypto self-custody. 22 million. The next closest being Coinbase Wallet, Trust Wallet, Blockchain, Phantom Wallet coming in at 2.5 million. And you can see a bunch of different ones down there as well. This pales in comparison. And we're talking again, adoption. This is just hilarious what this chart will show. Pales in comparison to like traditional payment apps or wallet apps. So we see WeChat, Alipay, Apple Pay, Google Pay, all with more almost than 500 million. Each of these, by the way, having more than 500 million users, while MetaMask has 22 million here, the most popular in the crypto space. So that tells you a little bit of the story. And I don't want to use like the old adage, you're early, but again, like that chart has consistently gone up over time, that MetaMask usage, but it still pales so much in comparison. I don't know what it's going to take to get there other than years and years and years. So 600 mil for the top pay, 22 mil for the top crypto wallet.
It is early, no matter how you slice it, there's all these different indicators that we can look at. And actually another just fun tidbit that we hit on briefly this morning was that I didn't know the first ever augmented reality or AR application or demonstration was actually in 1968. Some guy named Ivan Sutherland, I believe his name was actually invented, the first ever AR application in 1968, and it did not become retail available or become any sort of thing that we used until the 2010s. So like 50 years before the advent and the initial the initial idea and experiment of augmented reality. It took 50 plus years for it to actually work its way into a retail focused application that was usable by millions of people. And tech works that way. People come up with crazy ideas, they start trying to figure it out, and then it can take a long time for it to evolve and then for culture and society to actually catch up. And so NFT tech is like that. Web3 is like that. Blockchain is like that. We're still very early. I often think about QR codes because that's something that I've seen in my lifetime. QR codes, it took 25 years from when QR codes were invented to when we started actually using them regularly with our phones, et cetera, in our day-to-day lives. So, I do think that timeline generally starts to speed up for most things. So, it might not take 50 years, but it might take 25 years. It might take 20 years. And we're only 14, 15 years into blockchain tech at all. We still have a solid 5 to 10 years at least before a lot of these things that we're talking about today start to really become more broadly used.
I guess what do we do in that time? Watch trailers.
We're trailer maxis, y'all. If you know one thing about us, it's that we love a good trailer.
Artifact needs a good W. Let's play a little bit of this trailer, see what we got. This looks like also like a community-led trailer as well. Like a community.
I'll be over here just eating my nuts.
Pause.
In a world of endless curiosity and innovation, we break expectations to unveil our true selves. With relentless passion, we sculpt our own destiny.
Gift, do you own any Artifact? You own any CloneXs?
I'm sad Ronan just left, bro.
Yeah. Should have led with this.
Engineered by a mysterious scientist, endowing them with an extraordinary hive mind that unites their consciousness.
Pro shout out. All right, I need to figure out. So Cloneverse and Artifact. Alisadi Ali.
Through our eyes. In a world battling evil, we unite as one in our universe. Fighting together to conquer the darkness.
Oh. Is this moving the needle for you, GIF?
A little bit.
A little bit?
As future unfolds.
Thoughts? Also,
I mean, look,
chat. Let me
it's
know your
actually,
thoughts.
yeah, let us know what you think about this. It's actually good animation overall. And I mean, just the amount of time that it takes to model and render and then animate at this quality, all of these different assets and traits and heads and characters. Oh shit, they got the sneakers in there too, bro. Like, yeah, this definitely moves the needle for me a little bit. I mean, having the ability to create content like this is really difficult. And then to see the IP expressed in these awesome cinematic ways like this, the storytelling, it looks like they're building out the story, the lore. That whole start, the way that they were talking about it was basically lore, right? They're explaining more about what's going on with these characters. And then it also seemed like the way that they're positioning the different groups around specific, like their outfits of what they were wearing, right? We know fashion is a big part of this. Again, you're seeing the sneakers here, but the way that they're like, oh, your fit is kind of like your tribe or your faction within this world too. I took things away from this, and it's always, we love a good trailer.
Yeah, we do. We are Sims for trailers.
So,
so I want to get behind who created this. Like, I want to get behind the screen here, the camera. Artist, visual storyteller Ali. I'm just wondering, is this person affiliated with Artifact? Are they affiliated with CloneX? Or is this something? It can't be something created from the community, right? Like, this looks like it's a heavy lift, unless.
Well, it could be a collaboration with somebody from the community, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be great to get a little bit more clarity on like how official is this, right? It's like, is this the official lore, or is this kind of like fanfic? Right.
Yeah.
If this is fanfic, I'll be shocked. Yeah. That's like next level. But even then, it's like, does it turn the needle? Yeah, man. If you've got people like that in your community who care about your shit that much, bro, that's so much work.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like,
agreed.
My background originally was in 3D animation. Like, I got really into 3D animation in high school. That's actually literally what got me into undergrad and college, was going to an animation program that was state of the art in UT Dallas. And I was pursuing that. I was doing like animation competitions in high school. I was that nerd. So like, I have a history of animation, and that kind of was the start of a lot of my creative career. And so I can tell you, when I look at something like that, like, that is a lot of time. Like, that's a tremendously difficult thing to create. And usually, like, that's not one person. Like, that's a whole studio of people working on something like that for quite a while to make that happen. So if it's one guy out there who's just part of the community doing that type of shit, like, bro, he spent the last year working on that.
So VGF saying it's community created. Ali's that's wild. Hey, big shout out to Jimena Buenavida. We love her art, and we love supporting her on her journey. It looks like Jacob is getting after it again on the NFT live clip front. This was a clip from about 2 days ago that was then reposted from Jimena saying, appreciate Web3 for all the value they bring in their conversations and sharing their love with epiphanies this morning and bright moments.
Hey Jacob, make sure to clip all those times that Q and I are talking about us just vibing in the Hamptons, bro. Let's make a super cut of all of our Hamptons content, please.
I would like to get there. Let's go. You ready to roll? It's acquisition season, but before we get to acquisition of Wolf Game by Pixel Vault here, or by Reboot, I didn't make sure I get this right. before I go in, because I got VGF here. It looks like Pixelvault did acquire that IP and that collection. VGF also said he'd come up and talk with us. So if you want to, I can give GIF the link here in the private chat. And if you want to DM him their GIF, he can if he wants to come up today. Otherwise, we can get that scheduled for a later date. All right, GIF was saying that he would love to have some type of Jack Butcher energy put into his Jack Butcher pieces. Now, again, remind me what you own, GIF. Nah, I keep wanting to say checks. It's not checks.
Merge.
So you would like some energy put into Merge. Well, Jack Butcher seemingly heard your words and said, nope. Nope, GIF.
Cool.
No, GIF dead.
Love it. Thanks.
We are getting a Jack Butcher Pudgy Penguins collaboration. It looks like an Opepin derivative here that we see right in front of us. So these Pudgies have been all over everybody's timeline, it looks like. A bunch of different ones as well. You can see different colors and things like this. Front-facing Pudgies, by the way. So it looks like those will be the next Opepin derivative piece. Dude, again, I don't collect Jack Butcher, so I always feel out of my depth here when I talk about him.
It's like a collab type of thing. Yeah. But what's really smart, and another nod to the nouns, because he's kind of ripping them off a little, not ripping them off, but I mean he's taking a note out of the nouns playbook here. And what he's doing is he is taking the Noggles strategy and perpetuating his own meme, the Opepin meme here, with a glasses trait. It's been working pretty well for nouns. You see those Noggles everywhere, man. And you recognize that now as the nouns brand. So Opepin now using that unique, different glasses shape as an iconic trait, as a brand.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of different photos here, or different pieces here crossing the timeline based on what Jack Butcher's releasing. So he's doing a great job, man. You can see how this would go into, like that is saying, Sappy Seals. You could see it going into a lot of different collections. So yes, Jack Butcher again has done it. I don't think we have any info other than that quick. Let's see. Other than that quick post here, it says 1-to-1. So we'll see what that means for the Pudgies. But before we do that, looks like we have a special guest, Gift Dead. We got VGF in the castle. Into NFT
Let's
Live.
go.
What's up, my brother? Hey, before we get started, man, Restream loves to throttle video. So if you go to the settings tab there right below the camera, you can upgrade that quality so we can see you in full quality. I think that worked, actually, if you just did it.
He's here. Let's go. What's up, dude?
What's up, man?
Jim. The
Jam,
last
bro.
24 hours have been a heck of a week.
Yeah.
I bet.
What's that saying that you can experience years in weeks, and sometimes weeks draw out over years? It's like, I don't know. There's some famous saying about how time is all relative. But so yeah, you've been cramming weeks or months into the last 24 to 48 hours, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's been a lot.
I have two trailers. So I've got the Reboot hype trailer, and I've got also the trailer that you guys launched, which is of Battle Plan. I'd love to play either one. Also, for those of y'all in here, we do have EGF breaking down essentially what the details are on both Reboot and what Pixelvault is doing with Wolf Game, with Battle Plan. Hopefully we can get as much info as possible. So be retweeting that, get people in here. We want everybody in this show right now. And
Smash the like.
Smash the like button, hit the shares, hit
There
that
it
little
is.
bell.
All right,
Let's
which one are
go.
we playing first? Should we play the Reboot or the Battle Plan trailer?
I would say
EGF?
do Reboot. I'll
Okay.
I'll add a little bit of color here, not to overstep, but to correct something that was mentioned prior. Reboot is not Pixelvault. Pixelvault is not Reboot. Pixelvault helped to incubate the Reboot protocol. We are but a contributor to the protocol, but it is decentralized day one. A majority of the control and token allocation is going to be in the hands of the community, as outlined in the transparency report. So Pixel Vault has but a fraction of exposure to that. Pixel Vault is definitely not in control of Reboot or the protocol or the DAO.
Okay, let's watch the trailer and then come back to this.
Yeah.
I love these trailers so much.
It's a great trailer. The arcade theming is immaculate. Even, you know, the like lo-fi music,
Lo-fi vaporwave.
Yeah, it's really well done. And yeah, I mean, it seems very clear the way that NiftyQ has been, and I guess we've been talking about it, is that this seems like an arcade protocol. Like, and you know, it kind of says what does it say? The forever arcade. What does it say at the end? The unstoppable arcade. Mm-hmm. Right. So is that the general idea? Is to create the infrastructure protocol for basically just our different types of Web3 arcade games?
Yeah. So the Reboot protocol is the kind of pipes underneath, right? It's not the actual gaming layer on top. So like, as an example, Battle Plan, the Pixel Vault flagship game launching on Reboot, is basically like leveraging the Reboot protocol, this on-chain transfer of value, in order to benefit the game developers, the gamers. There's that one screenshot from the Reboot announcement where it highlights kind of all of the contributors to the protocol, whether it's liquidity provision, rewards providers, validators, you know, and then obviously the game devs and the gamers themselves. There might be one I'm missing in there. Affiliates, of course. Recognizing that like content creators and those referring more players to the ecosystem are valuable and should be incentivized and rewarded for their contributions.
How do we get in on that?
You'll be able to apply and get your own affiliate link day one.
Nice. All right. That's what's up.
And as a part of that, it is immutably linked on chain. So unlike some other affiliate rewards that we've seen in the past where they just break those links and you lose whatever value you may have generated in driving value or players to the ecosystem or revenue that you've driven to the product. This is immutably linked on chain so that you get a cut of the action of any revenue you drive to the ecosystem.
So VGF, we were talking on the morning show this morning about it being like acquisition season. We've seen obviously like bigger acquisitions of IP like Pudgy Penguins, Oni Force, and a couple others. Little Lemons happened earlier this week. But you guys also came out with another announcement saying Wolf Game was getting acquired by Pixel Vault. And I guess the question being thrown around in the morning show was like, why not just create your own game instead of going after something that is already existing or having to pay for that IP? Why not just create something from scratch?
So we saw a few like benefits there. One, like I think you're right. We could have built a game to like the value of call it, whether it's Wolf Game or otherwise. But also that Wolf Game in its like existing community is like our target audience for Reboot. Like skill-based games, like games of risk, games of skill. There's a lot of overlap of our communities already. A lot of collectors of Pixel Vault that are also collectors of Wolf Game, and vice versa. So there was a lot of like network effects and kind of intrinsic value adds to like build on the scope of just it being like something that was involved, but it made sense for an acquisition. And then also we are gaining their engineering team as well. So their existing game developers will continue to build out the scope of what Shep has outlined for like peak games and things like that. And then they'll be working directly with our team and Goose Eggs to bring additional games onto Reboot.
So what I'm getting from this is that Pixel Vault is basically establishing itself as a Web3 game studio right now that is focused on creating that game layer on top of the Reboot protocol. And there more? Is that basically more or less something like that?
I mean, we have what culminates as kind of like a not small studio worth of employees building games within Pixel Vault itself. Working. So
maybe kind of a publisher is really the right word, right? So it's like you're trying to establish yourself as. Yeah, we're definitely going to help facilitate, especially these early games being built on Reboot. But it is going to be open sourced. All of the contracts will be verified on chain. So anyone that's looking to build on Reboot will be free to do so without, hands off from PV. We're obviously available and willing to help those that are interested early on, but the idea being that we'll help build out these APIs, software development tools, SDKs, to where people can build without us being involved at all. Yeah. And let us know, by the way, in the chat, if you got any specific questions on all of the awesome news being dropped over the last couple of days from Pixel Vault, from Reboot. Would love to get y'all in here. There are a couple people shouting you out. We got Trish, or aka Trush.swoosh. We got Squashman, very excited to see you. Prodigy also asking, what games does this dude play? So I don't know if you're probably too busy to be playing anything right now.
I still play a little Apex these days, but historically I'm a first-person shooter, battle royale player. Was high-level competitive from Halo 2 to Call of Duty to Fortnite to Blackout to Warzone to Apex. Multiple-time world championship winner at Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1, what a fucking throwback. Wow.
It was such a good game. It was such a good game.
Squashman is saying, when will Battle Plan officially launch? This month, next? I can't wait.
So an official date is not locked. So one of the kind of asterisks with the launch of Battle Plan is it's launching simultaneously with Reboot. So there's a lot of moving parts. But at the same time, our core committee and a couple of community members will be getting their hands on playtests this week. So you will be seeing some kind of excitement on the timeline, some early feedback and reviews. And then that playtest, that broader playtest with, some of those community members will give us an idea of when the game will actually launch. So definitely be on the lookout. It's sooner rather than later, like eminently soon, not like soon TM. And very much looking forward to it. But we will definitely have more info in the coming weeks as we have that play test going live.
So VGF, the last question I have, it's probably separated into two topics, but one is the GG token. Obviously having an ecosystem token is, interesting in and of itself. So just kind of breaking that out, but also I think more around this tweet that you guys launched, which is saying a complex ecosystem rebooted. We've talked a lot on this channel about how some projects in the NFT space get too far down the complexity chasm or the rabbit hole of like creating different things, and it starts to get a little bit complicated. Is that what you guys mean when you're saying a complex ecosystem rebooted? And then what were your thoughts in taking this route and in trying to make it maybe more simple for new people to join Pixel Vault?
So we, as Pixel Vault, definitely helped contribute to this meta. We leaned in towards the meta games and the kind of complication, the burn versus stake, the this for that, the holding this to be airdropped or claim these other things very early on. early 2021. That was kind of like our bread and butter. It's what helped differentiate us from a lot of what was happening in the space. But when we were doing it distinctly apart from everyone else, it was a value for us. It was a differentiator. Once everyone started doing things like that, it was very difficult to pay attention to keep up with one project, let alone a bunch of others. Like, I felt it as a community member, a collector of a lot of other projects, and so this is kind of the consolidation for the Pixel Vault ecosystem. Punks, which are the fractional ownership over the vault of the 16 kind of crypto punks that Punks comic was built around. POW, which was intended as our gaming token, as well as the planets that were kind of set out with the mission of incubating this gaming protocol, are all consolidating into GG. So GG is essentially the functionality of POW and planet governance in one token, as well as the optional, liquidity off ramp for those that have staked for their punks and choose to convert them. But by no means are you forced or required to do so. But there's definitely some benefit to it if you are looking for that exit.
I got two questions for you, VGF. And before I hit those real quick, Justin Casey, shout out to you saying, yo, I'm here. Great to have you. Prodigy also saying, as gamers, it's hard to see Web3 sometimes because we've bought company-controlled assets in games for so long. It's great to see someone coming along from gaming to take this head on. So love the comments over there. But my questions, VGF, are one, obviously a lot of this is about simplifying, trying to make it more, more accessible, less complex. How do you see this strategy starting to hopefully bridge or get closer to Web 2.5, or maybe some people outside of Web 3 right now? So we're not just continuing to hit the same people and the lack of liquidity that we're experiencing. Like, how do you see this growing beyond our bubble? And then the follow-up quick question to that is, are there other acquisitions currently in the works?
Gotcha. So first part of that is actually multifaceted in that there's a lot of like, how do I approach this? Can you restate the question? I'm like running through.
Well, yeah, it's like it seems like a lot of the point of this is to get away from that complexity chasm, make it more accessible, broaden the funnel, yes. And so how does this hopefully eventually get more people in to play these games than just our existing, bubble of Web3 people?
Yes. So as far as accessibility goes, and like where our game with Battle Plan is like targeting, initially, especially with where like the general macro market is, we're looking to satisfy our promise to our existing holders, providing that gaming experience to them that we set out to. The broader scope of that is involving other people within Web3, and obviously then expanding beyond that into just gamers, right? Gamers want to play fun games. In my belief, Battle Plan is that. It is a generally fun game. And when you abstract away some of the complications of like the blockchain aspects to it, you should just be able to connect and play a fun game. Just like you would go to an arcade, put your tokens in to play a game. You should be able to go to these games built on Reboot, put your tokens in the form of game credits, and based on the results of that game, be incentivized and rewarded for skill-based games.
Love it. You're muted, Q.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. My other last question was just, are there any additional acquisitions that you can tease or speak to?
No comment.
No comment. All right. That's
we
fair.
do have other parties in the works for building out games on Reboot. We have yet to announce our cultural and artist advisory committee our corporate advisory and partners there. So there's still like more announcements to come as to who's involved and been helping with Reboot already. But then like, yeah, there's definitely more games to come. It's not much of an arcade if there's only one arcade machine in there. So definitely looking forward to Battle Plan. I think it stands alone. It stands on its own two legs. But then we'll very quickly be shifting some attention and energy towards helping to onboard other developers too.
VGF, I appreciate you hopping on today and like breaking down the alpha and breaking down in detail kind of the differences between what Pixel Vault is doing as well as Reboot. It just adds a lot of context to the situation. I'm pretty much done with any questions I had. I think we did a pretty good job today. So if you want to stay on, feel free. We're going to touch on some other stories. Otherwise, there is this last comment that I want to throw out there in chat. And I'll add some context that Rec League, the game from Enway Play, Animoca, Yuga Labs, is taking the approach of, at least from the Web3 side, a pay-to-win aspect. And I think that's what Benj is getting at, is I think NFT should only affect aesthetics and access to exclusive experiences, but never have an effect on gameplay. I wonder what you think about like the pay-to-win versus pay to what you see in like League of Legends right now, which is just pay to have some type of aesthetic boost.
So I think there's some nuance to that. Very broadly and generally, I agree that like pay to win aspects and like dark patterns in gaming, especially in relation to traditional gaming, are a net negative for gamers, especially competitive gamers. And with Reboot being an ecosystem of games of skill, that's definitely being like heavily considered. In Battle Plan in particular, there is value in stacking these skill cards and these kind of attribute skills in the form of the traits that are attached to the cores and eventually the pips, the generative identities. So there is some aspect to how you manage your in-game economy and unlock some of these skills via gameplay. So you do get incentivized and rewarded by playing the game, but by no means can a whale just step in and just dominate. Like there's no like coming in and just crushing the leaderboard by spending the most GG. I firmly believe that there will be benefits to those that like, you know, make their bets and kind of like position themselves in a way that will favor themselves long-term in the game and that play well. And the leaderboards are definitely designed to incentivize and reward those that grind at it and that play well. But nobody will be able to just come in, kind of like sweep the floor metaphorically or literally, and just crush anybody in their path.
Awesome. That's it for me, man. Gif, if you got any last things for VGF, otherwise.
Man. I just think it's so cool that you took our invite seriously and hopped in here to give us some more context. Obviously, you know, big congrats to you and the team on everything that you're working on. It's a lot of work going into all this stuff, and we want you to succeed. We want it to go well. You know, Ronan was really hoping to get to talk to you too. He literally just missed you. So maybe you can come back in a week or two as more developments come on and just give us an update or something, and we can get him in on the convo too, man. But yeah, this is your first.
You gotta watch the gameplay trailer.
Absolutely. Oh, we will. We're trailer maxis, my guy. So keep putting out trailers. We'll keep playing them. But yeah, I hope that you come on again. I think this is your first time joining us, so for that, you know, we salute you.
Yeah, definitely down. Appreciate Ronan, and definitely down to hop back on and chat. Should have some updates here in the coming weeks in relation to Battle Plan and obviously the release of Reboot the Protocol. So yeah.
Well, definitely keep us in mind too for the affiliate stuff when that drops, man. Like, yeah, keep us up to date, and we'll try and stay up to date too. Because yeah, any way that we can get involved sounds really cool, man.
VGF was part of the WAGMI cabal as well, so luckily we got that info as well.
Yep. Shout out Sarah Script. Been a long time collector of hers, and the meme just keeps meming.
Hell yeah.
All right, I dropped his Twitter profile. It still says twitter.com, so I'm calling it Twitter. But X profile there if you guys want to follow VGF. Otherwise, we do want to move on to the last couple topics of the day. Thanks, man. Appreciate it again. See you soon.
Later, y'all.
Hell yeah. Smash the like for that, man, right there. If you haven't already, very cool having special guests just jump in like that ad hoc and add a lot of value to the convo.
Absolutely, man. I feel like I'm saying it over and over, but it's really cool what we're able to do with supporting the community, but also having the community kind of come in and recognize what we're building too, man. That's really cool. All right, the remainder of the show, I think we've got about 5 to 10 minutes. I always say that, and then we always go over. Just get used to it. I'm gonna check out the markets really quick. I don't think we have too much movement. Looks like Miladies are up 22% on the 7 days. The captains are down 6% today. Nakamigos flirting a little bit with that 0.4, but going down to 0.36. Oni's dropping below 0.8, so I'm gonna have to pick up another. God damn it! But yeah, I actually really like that. Heavy metals kind of staying flat. Wrecked guys up big. I think there was an announcement from Wrecked guys actually. They're up 24%. So yeah, some movement across the board, but nothing too crazy up there at the top. It looks like mutants are up over the week. Broad crypto kind of stagnant as well, kind of holding steady here. ETH is at 18.5, and Bitcoin here touching on, I believe it went over 30,000 for a moment yesterday, and then pulled back to 29.5. So, Gif, any thoughts on any of the floor prices or crypto prices as you see it right now?
I would love to keep looking into what's going on with Wrecked guys. I'm actually pretty bullish on that project, and we've covered it quite a bit. And I don't have any, but I will kind of want some because that's another one of these sort of like meme-y communities that I think has real staying power. And there's big people like Raoul Pal that collect them. That's just like, damn, why is that guy collecting a Wrecked guy? You know, he sees something in that project. And so anyway, yeah, I'd love to know what that update is if we can find that. Just as far as projects, I mean, like I'll pull up my screen really quickly on this one. There's Moon Bears that you mentioned, and then this Dorkz. Yeah. Here's the thing. Let's go look at these. It's clearly Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, yeah.
It's clearly Beavis and Butthead.
I didn't know how close.
Yeah, it's Beavis and Butthead. That's what it is. And look, I'm a huge Beavis and Butthead fan, so I love and appreciate that like there's enough value in that IP and people fuck with it so hard still that they want to buy and collect it. However, I don't think this is a legit project. You know what I mean? Like I think this is clearly stolen IP, and Mike Judge or Beavis and Butthead or whoever owns that IP would, like, in my opinion, just shut this shit down. I'd be like, what? Like, that's not our shit. So I don't know, man. I love Beavis and Butthead, but I feel like I got burned on that once or twice in like 2021, 2022 when I bought into projects that were clearly ripping off like famous IP. Like I think Famous Skulls, I think was one of them. But there was like a couple projects like that were like using other famous IP without having authorization, and they basically got taken down or delisted or something. So that's what I'm worried about with this. So I'm not collecting this, but it is something popping off. And then Moon Bears, we can go.
So personal anecdote really quick, like overall, like over, I think maybe the last 2 years. So maybe 2 years ago when the NFT market was still kind of nascent-ish, Cryptolander, who was a longtime friend of the network, got me into a thing called Reddit Collectibles or SNU Collectibles. It was by just a random dude who took the SNU character and started putting different IPs on him. And it was actually like, it actually did a ton of volume. And then the dude got contacted by Reddit. This was pre-Reddit avatars. Like, it's actually funny seeing how big Reddit avatars is now because we were collecting like bootleg SNUs. I don't know if it was on Polygon or ETH, but I don't know if anybody actually remembers that. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, K-Town Crypto King, this is not financial advice. So do whatever you're going to do. We're not telling you to do either way. I'm just, we're just talking about cool things on the internet. So don't do whatever you're gonna do, but just be aware that there's a risk of that with a project like this that's clearly ripping off someone else's IP. And if they don't have, if it's not legit, if they don't have a partnership or an agreement in place, there's potential for that to happen. So just beware, but do what you're gonna do. This is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Moonbear's NFT.
This. Someone explain what's happening here with Moonbears.
Yeah, this one's interesting because it's not a brand new project just popping off overnight. This is from May 2022, and yet it is all of a sudden over the last 7 days, really seeing quite a rise, quite a pickup in interest here. Floor price sitting at just shy of I mean, it's at Nakamigos level floor price right now. It does have less supply. Nakamigos has 20K supply, so as far as supply goes, this is pretty solid. There's less than 200 owners though, and there's less than 20% unique owners on a low supply. This might be wash trading, or there might be some weird fuckery going on, because yeah, that's not a good unique. That's not a good distribution, really. It's not very good, especially for a lower supply project like this. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's some legit shit going on here, but I'm wary. I'm wary of that.
Yeah, if anybody knows what's going on with the Moonbears, why they're pumping, we'd appreciate some info. Even if you can kind of curate that while we're live here and tell us about it, or at least give us any information. Otherwise, the last topic I've got here on the show today, and I feel like we were all over the place. We actually covered a ton. Frank, DeGods, Pudgy Penguins. We got VGF in to talk about Reboot, as well as Pixel Vault, the GG token. We had Ronan the Collector for the first time in about a month, so it was great to have him. But yeah, it's been a great episode, but we got to shut it down soon, folks. What's up?
Well, I just want to say shout out Frank. Good old Frank DeGods, for giving us at least a little tidbit of an announcement while we were live, and not just waiting till we were done with the show for that. So appreciate that, fam. Yeah, no, getting VGF on here and Ronan on the same episode. Big day today. Yeah. We do have Benja asking about Ape Fest tickets. I didn't pick up any yet. I'm going to try and get gifted some maybe. I don't know if I'm going to go to Ape Fest. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'd like to.
Ape Fest in Miami?
Either one. I don't know if I'm going to make either one.
Yeah, well, I got Ape Fest tickets for Miami. I don't know if I'm going because it's literally this month. I also did not get tickets to Hong Kong because I plan on going. I have another trip that I'm trying to make, more so with the family and the girlfriend. So hopefully I can do that. I think that didn't coincide well with Hong Kong, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nick Swerve is saying, yo, off topic, but we have a NFT meetup at our sushi restaurant here in Vegas, August 21st. Come through and drink sake with your boy. I'm extremely, like, I've got a lot of FOMO for that. I have a ton. I couldn't even talk.
I would love to be there, Swerve. That sounds like a great time, frankly. Sounds like that sounds. Love some sake, love some sushi, man. Holy heck, you got a sushi restaurant in Vegas? Everybody hit up Swerve, and anytime you're going to Vegas, go get some sushi and some sake. Holy heck, that's awesome.
But man, only on August 21st. Is there sake? Oh, well, I guess he's got a restaurant.
It's a sushi restaurant.
You got a full ass restaurant that you own, Nick?
Put them in your Vegas Connect. Dude. That's your Vegas Connect right there. That's
Holy
awesome.
Crap. Quantum Variant saying, what about 2-Bit Bears? Sorry, I am late. No problem, man. You're gonna have to kind of go back and watch a little bit of that episode that you got running in BGF.
That's 10 push-ups right now, Quantum.
Okay, last topic I got, then we're going to roll out of here for the day. Again, DeGods announcement Season 3 coming here at 6:33 p.m. Eastern. NFT company mergers and acquisitions is a theme in the last few months. You see it's laid out here. Pudgies, Onis, Wolf, Little Lemons, Crypto Dick Butts. Do you think builders are better off buying a project or spinning up a new one? That's the big question. And, I'm not going to add any type of context to this because I think Spencer laid it out pretty well here with his question. Do you think builders are better off buying a project or spinning up a new one?
It's a nuanced. It's nuanced, man. There's no yes or no. This is not black and white. And VGF already answered this question particularly well when you asked him, why did you acquire Wolfgame? Right? He said, well, for XYZ reasons. That one made sense for us. Not everything is going to make sense, but like they had a team that they acquired. They got devs out of it. They got an IP and a community that matched their target audience very, very well with like skill-based, Web3 gaming and whatever else. It's just nuance, man. Like I'm assuming whoever acquired Little Lemon Friends, I'm sure it wasn't expensive. I'm sure they didn't pay a lot, but I'm sure they've already got a product market fit or something in mind. Like they're probably already making Little Lemon themed things. Like there's a reason why they want that IP and that community.
Just do your own.
No, but a lot of things won't make sense for you to acquire. A lot of things will. Clearly the people that acquired Pudgies and Oni had a vision for where they're taking that thing, and that's why they did it. So I don't know, man. You can't like some of these things you can't just create your own version of. You know what I mean? Like some of them are actually like there's a lot of creativity and work that goes into creating some of these projects. And I think that the way that you're coming at this, Q, rubs me the wrong way, because I don't think that you see the amount of work and effort that goes into creating some of these projects.
Yeah, I just think that again, like when it comes out, if we ever do get the numbers, it's not going to be for a lot. So I think they're shrouding this like acquisition, and it's probably like for $1,000. Like it's
or free. No, because one of the other interesting things, just as a side note, that I think is relevant is Beanie has been talking about how as a value add VC, I'm he's having all these combos in the background. And basically one of the things that he's saying that he's seeing is a lot of founders are wanting to like move on and get out, even if it's for no payout right now. Like they just want to move on and have some kind of way to hand off the community or, do something. So I am sure that there's going to be a lot of these quote unquote acquisitions that we see. And a lot of them will be for a bag of Skittles, like actually like $1 or $1,000, something really cheap. So
yeah. Listen, like I can be skeptical of like business decisions and what that looks like without kind of throwing creators and artists under the bus too. Like I understand that it took a lot of work to get Little Lemons to wherever it was, but I'm just simply commenting on the business acquisition of like somehow just like getting an IP that has been dead, has essentially like they hadn't tweeted out for like 4 or 5 months. It was just like Twitter, it was forgot. No.
I know that matters. It does.
Where
matter,
else are they communicating? If you tell me they're communicating somewhere else, I will say okay. But if they haven't communicated in 6 months,
it does matter. I just don't know that X/Twitter is the end all be all of whether or not something.
Let me know if they were communicating on any other medium.
All right. Point is taken. Nick Swerve is saying, I will hook y'all up. Always welcome. That's our vibe, our tribe right there, bro.
That's
real.
Utility.
That's
utility of watching the show.
That's community utility, watching the show. That's the utility of this tribe right there. Shout out Swervis. You're the man. Yeah. Also saying it's his roommate that's the chef from Miami, which is pretty cool. Easy and Crypto made it through. All right, our day's complete. We did it, Q. We did everything we could do. We got Easy in here with our vibe, our tribe, OVOT to you, Easy. Big
it looks like Easy in 30 minutes is going to be in the Slingshot DAO Discord. I'm interested to see what he's up to. I wanted to give him a shout out for being here often, man. He's here every day, so I wanted to give him some highlight. Real quick, I'm going to drop this. I'm not going to get into it because we are at the end of the show of our run here today. We will be back tomorrow, though. Amazon is giving away free gaming NFTs. Here's how to claim. It looks like they were mentioning Blankos as well as that Mojo Melee game. So if you guys are, we're getting a little bit more info here. I know these are.
Is that the GG token logo there also? Or is that a different thing?
Decrypt has a GG as part of their website that is like gaming related. And then base day 1 starts today. I don't know how long this mint is still going on, but launches the 9th of August. So today, again, this is going to be day 1 for the new layer 2 protocol by Coinbase. So I wanted to give y'all that information as well. Otherwise, that's going to do it today. For the episode. Again, it was super packed. Ronan the Collector, VGF, y'all, every single one of you that made it through the episode. If you're here while we're live commenting along, if you're here afterwards, y'all have been killing it afterwards with the comments, with showing up afterwards. Our post live audience has grown tremendously. So I appreciate that so much for you guys that are supporting the network. Thank you guys. Gift, head us out.
Nah, that's it, man. You said it. We appreciate y'all a ton, man. We couldn't be showing up here every day without y'all, for real. And if you can leave us a like, really does make a big difference. And that's it, man. We'll be back tomorrow with the last shows of the week. Look out for the rehash on X, on the Bird X app. We are doing all this news that we're covering on GM-Web3, on NFT Live every day. We're trying to do a better job of getting it out there, curating it into a digestible thread for you. We call it the rehash. So look out for that. That'll be out in the next hour or two on Twitter or X. So yeah.
Yeah, this
There
is
you
the
go.
example from
It's
yesterday. If
yesterday.
y'all haven't seen this yet, basically take probably like the 10 to 12 of the biggest stories from that past 24 hours. One of the really good aspects of this is our rehash comes out in the afternoon. So we're able to like actually capture stories that happen at noon, that happen at 10, when most of these newsletters come out at like 8 a.m. Eastern. So we're able to pick up the afternoon stuff. So great shout out there, GIF.
Hey, appreciate you, Nifty Q. Great show.
All right, y'all. See y'all tomorrow.